What you're about to hear was never meant to be solved. This is the haunting case of Brandon Swanson, a young man whose final known moment was spent on the phone, before vanishing into thin air. It was the early morning hours of May 14th, 2008. Brandon Swanson, a 19-year-old college student from Minnesota, was driving home after attending a small gathering with classmates in Canby. He hadn't been drinking heavily, and friends later confirmed he was in a stable, clear state of mind when he left. While driving on unfamiliar rural roads in the dead of night, Brandon's car veered off into a shallow ditch. The car wasn't damaged, just stuck in the soft terrain. Frustrated but calm, Brandon called his parents for help, believing he was somewhere near the town of Lind. They stayed on the phone with him while his father drove out to find him. Brandon explained that he could see lights in the distance and said he would start walking toward them. He believed the lights belonged to the town and that they'd be able to meet halfway. What followed was nearly 50 minutes of Brandon calmly describing his surroundings. Gravel roads, passing fences and distant sounds painted a vague picture of his location. But despite both father and son trying to meet up, neither could find the other. The conversation remained steady. There was no fear in Brandon's voice, just confusion and annoyance that they weren't connecting. He was alert, coherent, until suddenly something changed. At 2:30 a.m. in the middle of a sentence, Brandon interrupted himself and said, "Oh, shh," and the line went dead. His parents tried to call him back immediately. No response. Multiple attempts rang through but were never answered. Brandon never picked up the phone again. At first, police were hesitant to act. They assumed Brandon had simply gone somewhere to cool off or was sleeping it off. But his parents insisted. They knew their son. Something was very wrong. By the next day, authorities joined the search. Phone records showed Brandon's call had pinged from a cell tower near Lind, confirming he was at least in the general area he believed. Tracking dogs picked up his scent and traced it along a gravel road, leading into an open field and eventually down to the banks of the Yellow Medicine River. That's where the trail stopped cold. Despite extensive searches by foot, helicopter and dive teams, no trace of Brandon was ever found in or around the river. Not his phone, not his clothing, not a single item left behind. Speculation began to grow. Did Brandon fall into the river and drown? Was he attacked by someone in the dark? Did he witness something he wasn't supposed to? His last words, abrupt and cut off, remained chilling. Whatever caused him to exclaim in fear or surprise happened in a split second. And then, nothing. Over the years, volunteers have continued to search fields, farmland, and riverbanks across southwest Minnesota. Every tip has led to a dead end. Brandon's disappearance sparked the passing of Brandon's Law, a state law requiring immediate police action when adults go missing under suspicious circumstances. But for Brandon, it came too late. No physical evidence. No signs of a struggle. Just the sound of his voice fading into silence. More than 15 years later, the question still lingers in the minds of his family, friends, and investigators. Where is Brandon Swanson? Some cases are forgotten, others remain unknown.